Hey guys, so today we have a video with a few little stories happening on the internet, mainly TikTok stuff, but a few YouTube things. So if you enjoy that kind of content, subscribe, hit that bell, you'll be notified whenever I post a video. Give this video a thumbs up and comment for engagement. Here's my Instagram, here's my TikTok, and here is my puppy's Instagram. And let's get into it. That was a very quick introduction. So the first thing is Dixie D'Amelio. So there was recently a Bryce Hall video. So Bryce Hall has been kind of doing these like weird cheating pranks. Recently he did one on the media, but kind of like Addison was in on it. He was pretending to cheat on her with another girl publicly, which is kind of embarrassing. I would be like, no, you're not doing that. That's weird. Please stop. And then now he posted a video called His Girlfriend Wasn't Happy About This, and it's a thumbnail of him FaceTiming Dixie with Noah, you know, in the thumbnail. And it's basically he blindfolds Noah, gets two to come in and get into their outfits. Noah's sitting down with the blindfold, they kind of like sit around him, and then Bryce FaceTimes Dixie and like shows it and then tells Noah to take off his blindfold, and you know, the scene just doesn't look good. And Dixie hangs up, and then they call her back. They tell her it's a prank and she's like, okay then. And then she just hangs up again, and people were not happy about this. First of all, this was posted on the TikTok room about this whole like thing with some comments regarding the situation. And the caption is, many people weren't okay with the prank Bryce Hall pulled on Dixie and Noah. And Noah actually liked that post. So I guess he wasn't happy either. He must have got a lot of, I mean, next time he saw Dixie was probably really awkward. He was like, I am so sorry, I did not know that that was going to happen. I didn't know. It's not my fault, don't blame me. I just know that it was a tense situation. And then other than that, the comments under the video just weren't really that great. That joke wasn't funny. Imagine someone did this to you. I honestly feel bad for Addison because she's dating a guy who does jokes that are disgusting and hurtful. Yeah, okay, bye. Why are they laughing about it? She got so hurt. I feel bad for Dixie because she seemed sad and mad and she was busy. She probably couldn't focus after. So people are just not very happy at all. Then there is a Logan Paul podcast episode that he just posted recently that he's moving to Puerto Rico, so that's happening. But then he kind of like elaborates, and he's only moving there for 6 months out of the year, which to me and a few other people on the internet means Puerto Rico has some good taxes, because wherever you spend 6 months out of the, like if you spend like 6 months and 1 day in one place, that's the taxes you're paying, and then you can spend another like 5 months and however many days in a different spot and you don't pay taxes in that spot. And LA taxes are one of the highest, if not the highest in America. They have like essentially a 50% tax bracket across the board. I remember I went on the tax calculator and I tried to calculate how much I would pay in taxes, and it's basically 50%. And people on Twitter said, oh, he's moving to my country because of the taxes. So he's basically gonna have like a 6-month holiday with really low taxes. I think that's exactly what he's doing. So people weren't very happy about it. There were tweets basically saying like, can America just keep him? We don't want him in our country. And I mean, after the whole Japan fiasco and the Italy fiasco, I don't think I have to go over what happened. You know, invading other people's cultures just doesn't seem to be Logan Paul's strong spot. So none of my business, but also, you know, people aren't happy. Then about Bryce Hall, he recently filmed a video where a guy paid $50,000 for a billboard of Bryce Hall to try and get into Sway House, and then Bryce Hall was like, oh, Sway House is actually over, so you wasted $50,000. And that billboard has now been vandalized. Just goes to show how much people like Bryce Hall. Tana Mojo is selling lingerie type products for a really big markup because someone filmed a TikTok saying that you can find the exact same products on Shein for $13 and to not waste your money on Tana Mojo when you can basically get the same stuff on Shein just without the Tana Mojo branding. Then we have Eugenia Cooney, who recently on a Twitch stream started defending Jeffree Star. She was basically like, we can't accuse people without evidence. There is a bunch of evidence. We can't accuse people of like horrendous things. Well, if they did those horrendous things, then what do we do about it? Because Jeffree Star admitted to a lot of stuff and the rest is like actual evidence pretty much. So like this whole weird obsession she has with Jeffree Star is starting to get really unhealthy and really out of hand. Like I find it just really concerning that she's this like obsessed with him. I find it weird when people can't see how much of a bad person someone else is, but I guess that's just toxic relationships for you guys. So basically people were kind of replying to the chat saying like, you're victim blaming, why are you not believing people? She's like, I'm not victim blaming, and then proceeds to victim blame, which is really, really cute. It's a really good look on stream. Then we have John Hill posting this on his Instagram saying, Trisha Paytas, can you please give me back my Gucci scarf yet? It would mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. Congrats on your new marriage. As if he couldn't message her. As if he couldn't DM her. I find John Hill such a strange character because since his divorce with Jaclyn Hill, he's just been trying to get some of that Jaclyn Hill clout without Jaclyn Hill, and it's just getting really embarrassing because he'll like post pictures with Trisha Paytas and like publicly call people out, and it's just really weird. Wasn't he supposed to be like a musician? Can you not go back to that? Can we not do this? This is really embarrassing for a grown man to be doing. Then we have James Charles. So recently he started posting pictures of himself without any hair, and you can tell it's a bald cap because it's scrunched up at the back. That's not what skin does normally. And then recently he went, I guess, like skiing, and he posted a picture of himself with the helmet on and some hair was peeking through, and he was like, oh my god, I just ruined my own prank. I'm guessing this is supposed to be another one of like those videos, because he did the pregnancy video. This was probably supposed to be like, I tricked the internet into thinking I'm bald, I guess. But he kind of outed himself when it came to the hair situation. Then we have Patrick Star, who posted on Instagram stories basically apologizing for not posting a lot of videos, not getting, you know, videos out there, not posting a lot of content, but he's not apologizing for going to parties in the middle of a pandemic, wearing his mask around his wrist rather than on his face while he's in social settings, telling people that they're cancelling Nikita Dragon for all the wrong reasons, when in reality they're cancelling her for pretending to be a different race and not social distancing, and also hanging out with the Lopez brothers. Very valid reasons to be calling someone out. And he's just like, you guys just want to cancel people. And it's like, why are you sticking your head out for someone that would not do the same for you? I just think it's really embarrassing, because when you were getting called out for having a Christmas party and for shading Selena Gomez, like, Nikita Dragon was nowhere to be seen. So I don't know where's all this loyalty coming from when it wasn't reciprocated for you? I don't know. I just think it's a little bit embarrassing. And, you know, to apologize for not posting enough content and not endangering people's lives. Strange move, but okay. Then we have Tony and SJ. So I recently spoke about the fact that Tony has been accused of multiple different things, and it was just inappropriate for SJ to still be in a relationship with him. And then there was that weird clip of paparazzi trying to ask her about it, and she ran away. And then she actually spoke to paparazzi, but like, they didn't really ask her about this because it's really awkward. And then her own mum on, I believe, Instagram said that her daughter's not dating anyone. So since then, my assumption has been that SJ and Tony have broken up, mainly with SJ deleting all of her pictures with him on her Instagram, except for one, which kind of was captioned something about them being best friends. So I assumed, okay, this relationship is all done and dusted, over, perfect, amazing. And then he posts on his Instagram story on her birthday, happy birthday to this queen, with a heart at SJ Blue. I'm just really confused. I think just not being in a relationship with him isn't enough. Like, you need to cut him out of your life. This is really bad. The stuff he's being accused of is not friend material or boyfriend material or acquaintance material. And then people were starting to make jokes, because I got this off TikTok Room, in the caption basically saying that it's kind of ironic that he used a child picture of her, considering the accusations. It's very interesting. Vinny, I spoke about Vinny in my last video. He's a TikToker who has a very female audience, and they get angry at him for finding girlfriends. And TikTok Room posted a screenshot of his live stream where he seems to have a hickey on his neck, and they post it and they're like, looks like fans peeped something on Vinny Hacker sent in. And he just goes, okay. I just don't understand the obsession with like very trivial things like this, where it's just, it baffles me how anyone could possibly care. He's 18. Of course that's going to happen. Why do we care? I'm just wondering why do we care so much? There is no need for this. Then we have Trisha Paytas and Gabbie Hanna. This is very interesting. If you guys don't know, Trisha Paytas recently went on Gabbie Hanna's podcast called Burnout, where they had a little bit of a conversation about kind of their past beef. Gabbie apologized to her publicly, and then Gabbie kept on bringing up the fact that they used to be friends, and Trisha Paytas would go, I don't remember this, I don't recall, I don't think we used to be friends. And it got really awkward for a minute, and then they had an argument over feminism and ageism in the Hollywood sphere. And after that, a lot of the comments under the podcast were basically calling out Trisha for gaslighting, for being mean to Gabbie. So Trisha posted a 2-part kind of response. I'm not going to go into much detail because she kept on like repeating basically the same stuff. Like, I'm just going to give like a slight summary of what she said. There was the we need to address this video, and then there was a part 2 where she was basically responding to comments under that video, just elaborating more on what she said. She basically said that they had like a 2-hour-long conversation before the podcast even started, where Gabbie told her a lot of stuff about Shane Dawson and the stuff that he would tell her about Trisha Paytas. And she was like, oh, can we talk about this in the podcast? And she said no, that she doesn't want to bring drama into her life. And Trisha said that at that point she felt a little bit like, oh, this is awkward, this is weird, why would you tell me this if we're not going to talk about it? And then during the podcast, she says that Gabbie actually cut out a lot of stuff. Like, they spoke for much longer than what's in the podcast. And she sent her the final edit, and Moses, who is Trisha's fiance, actually watched over the thing and said, yeah, this seems fine. But Trisha said she didn't watch it, and she says a lot of stuff has been cut out from what they said. And then also Gabbie Hanna apparently sent her voice notes basically saying like, oh my god, sorry, I got this wrong, I thought you did message me this but you didn't, I thought you did tweet this out but you didn't. She never plays those voice notes, which I'm kind of like, why didn't you play the voice notes? I'm just really confused. So there's that, and then there's some comments, and Trisha responds to them in the part 2, and that's basically it. Since then, people have gone back through Trisha Paytas's Twitter and tried to find out if Gabbie Hanna and Trisha Paytas were actually friends the way, you know, Gabbie Hanna claims they were, and if Trisha is lying. So throughout the whole podcast, Gabbie Hanna mentions stuff like, oh, you invited me to Thanksgiving, and Trisha's saying, well, I never invite anyone to Thanksgiving, so that's actually a lie. And then apparently Gabbie Hanna admits that that's a lie to her in voice notes that she doesn't play. Then apparently Trisha used to tweet a lot about Gabbie Hanna, and Trisha's like, I don't think I did. But now we found out that that's actually false, because there are tweets such as, legit gonna buy a VIP ticket to your show, like yes, 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 and that's 2016. 2015, oh my god, throwback though, we seriously have to hang out soon. Like, you don't understand, I've been binge watching your vlogs for the past week. I'm now on your Dance Mums one, watching all of them. And then like Laughing Faces one replying to Gabbie Hanna. And then there's one that's now been deleted, which is kind of shady. If you delete a tweet, that makes it look bad. Every time me and @Gabbie Hanna are together, we never get selfies, and it makes me extremely depressed. All of these to me sound like a friendship. I hate to be, you know, the one here to say this, but I'm gonna have to be biased on Gabbie Hanna's side here, because that to me sounds like a friendship. If you're like sad and upset that you're hanging out with someone and you never get pictures to like reminisce on the memories, that to me sounds like a friendship. But Trisha's like, I never have any girlfriends, I'm so antisocial, I don't hang out with anyone, I'm not friendly with anyone. This to me sounds like a friendship. So people in the comment section under the podcast called out Trisha Paytas for saying that David Dobrik and the Vlog Squad gaslit her, you know, made her end up in a mental hospital, just all of that stuff. But then when Gabbie Hanna brings up how what Trisha did affected her mental health, she tells Gabbie that it's just the internet and she shouldn't be so sensitive. But it's like, that's kind of hypocritical, because you want people to acknowledge how hurt you were by the Vlog Squad and how they affected you. But when you affect someone else, it's like, oh, it's just the internet. Why are you getting upset for no reason? Sounds a bit like hypocrisy to me too. It just seems like Trisha goes through these phases on the internet where everyone hates her and then everyone loves her and everyone hates her. And if you disagree at any of those points, you get cancelled. It's like when Trisha's being hated on and you agree with her, cancelled. But when Trisha's at the peak and you disagree with her, you get cancelled. Now that she has frenemies and she has the H3 podcast behind her, hyping her up, everyone on TikTok seems to love her. Everyone's obsessed with her. Everyone's watching her videos. If you disagree with her now, you're a bad person. But in reality here, I have to admit that some of the stuff that Trisha says just doesn't add up. And some of the stuff that Gabbie says kind of does add up. Like, these tweets look like a friendship to me. So to sit there and be like, no, we were never friends. So what was this? Were you just pretending to like her and hang out with her? I don't know. And it's just like, we seriously have to hang out soon. Like, that's something you say to someone that you consider a friend. Like, I don't hang out with people I don't like. That seems like a waste of time. I don't know. It's just really strange to me. I feel like maybe there is some truth on both sides. I feel like whenever you look at a situation, when there is two parties involved, it's never just one side is telling the truth. There's usually some truth in the middle. Like, both parties are lying, both parties are telling the truth, and the truth's somewhere in the middle. I think maybe Trisha thought it was a friendship, but maybe Gabbie Hanna thought it was like more of a friendship, like it was more serious than it actually was. There are some things that Trisha mentions that are kind of valid. Like, she said that Gabbie said to her, like, my mom's super abusive to me, my mom has BPD. So I understand what you're like because you have BPD, which kind of made Trisha Paytas sound abusive. And she was like, that kind of switched me off. Like, at that point I was just like, I don't really understand what's going on here. So there were a few parts where I can understand Trisha's frustrations, but at the same time, when you have these public tweets, things start to look really weird. And when you don't show the messages where apparently Gabbie Hanna admits to you that she's lying, that also just isn't super, like, that's not really proof. You just saying there was a voice note without showing the voice note isn't really proof for the voice note existing. I don't know. I just wish she showed the voice notes. I think this is a really strange situation and I just want them to rehash it. I feel like the next episode of Frenemies is going to be super interesting because of this whole thing. I'm just waiting for the next episode of Frenemies and I'm waiting for the next episode of Burnout, or possibly just like another Gabbie Hanna video, maybe a tweet, maybe a live stream or something where they both talk about it, because this is getting really strange. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything you want to comment down below, and subscribe to post videos every time something happens. Hit that bell, you'll be notified when that's happening. Social media links, any other links will be in the description. I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.